It's just difficult.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and open the Board of Public Works and Safety. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, please, Carol.
Mayor Sheets,
Present.
Greg Miller,
Present.
Megan Sheets.
Present?
Okay, next we have the minutes from February 12th, regular meeting.
I'll make a motion, we approve February 12th minutes.
And you weren't here, were you? Okay, I'll second that motion. Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets,
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Abstain.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, minutes passed. Next, we have the claims for this week.
I'll make a motion, we accept the claims for tonight as presented.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, did we have any public comments?
No, we did
Okay.
not.
Okay, department reports. Chief Stidham, you're first.
All right, good evening, everybody. First part I will go ahead and present to you is a retirement letter from Jeff Dunk. He just wrote me that I formally writing my retirement notification. My last day will be March 4th, 2024, and the first day of my retirement will be March 5th, 2024. So I want to present that. Obviously, Jeff has spent over 35 years, I think it was, at the fire department as a mechanic. And I think he's looking forward to some retirement and doing his own thing right now. So we got 1 week. This is our last week with him.
Wow.
And then Carol, I'm going to go ahead and give this to you, so you will have it.
Okay.
If
thank
you would like it. And then-
Sure. I will give that to HR. Thank you.
I'll make a motion, that we accept the retirement for Jeff Dunk, effective March the 4th, with saying that Jeff had really provided a huge amount of savings for the city of Frankfort over his time of all the talents that he had. So it'll be hard to ever replace him, for sure. But he is looking forward to retirement, so I wish him well.
Yes, he is.
And I'll second that motion and those comments.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
So I'll just say a few words as well. Tell Jeff, thank you so much for his years of service, 35 years. That's a long time. And like Greg said, it's really been very beneficial to the city. He's always done a great job for us, and he will be missed for sure, but we wish him the best.
I will make sure I let him know that. And again, you're right. He will be missed
Yes. Yes.
greatly. He's already been missed quite a bit already in just the last month or so that he hasn't really been there. So last thing I have, and I know that I presented this to you guys, Donnelly Safety. We are looking at our air bottles again. We found it challenging once we started doing our audit of all of our equipment and our inventory. We found that we had a lot of bottles that were either outdated and or wasn't done at the proper time. So we have now got all of those completed that we could send off to be hydrostatic tested. With that being said, we gained some more as we started going through the inventory, and we're about 34 bottles that we had to actually discard. As you very well know, we purchased 13 bottles at our last meeting, which has been great for us. The biggest issue we have now is really needing to make sure that we replenish our supply. And for some reason, I lost that paper, but I see Megan has it.
The Donnelly.
Yeah, it's $11,760 would give us 10 more bottles. And again, that doesn't replace every one of our bottles that we could replace. This just gets us back to a satisfactory status there at the fire department. And what I mean by that is we purchased last year 5 new air packs, which included 10 new bottles. So when we went through and did our inventory, we tried to determine what we needed. I think we need about 10 more bottles to really get us back to where we need to be. Now, looking at our budgets the best that we could at this time, I'm thinking that this may be able to come out of our equipment and our equipment testing. We currently had about $24,000 in there for that. We're still waiting on a little bit of a price from our ladders that just got tested last week. So once we get that invoice in, we'll know exact amount that we have in that line. But I believe we'll have enough to get those 10 bottles out of that line item.
Which line, equipment?
It should say equipment and testing,
Okay, thank you.
and it's out of the lit, excuse me. It's in the PS lit.
You might want to share maybe some of the dates that you found on some of those bottles to show the replacement, the
Sure.
importance of replacement.
So quickly, the way it kind of works out is our bottles have to be replaced every 15 years. At 5-year increments, they have to be hydrostatic tested. We found bottles that were from 2008. So obviously those were, some of our oldest bottles we found. We had some 2007s, we had some 2009s, and then we had some 14s, 16s, and 18s. So we just really needed to get back up to where we was. And again, knowing that we had that many bottles, the reason it never came up before, just to help explain to everybody, is because the hydrostatic test date said 2021. Well, when you have that date stamped on a bottle, then that would technically mean it's good for 5 years. So when we were checking the bottles throughout every week, everybody always just checked the hydrostatic test date because you should have that 5 years. Once we started doing the inventory, that's when we found that these bottles, they were done at a time that wouldn't have met that 15-year mark. So that's why they had to be replaced. Most of those were done in 2021, so they had the 2021 stamp. So for the most part, we were thinking we had till 2026 to replace these bottles. And once we actually started checking all the manufacturing dates, that's when we found that they were already expired. And so for reasons of liability, not only for myself, but also for the city, if something was to happen to anybody at the fire department and they were wearing one of these 2008 packs or bottles, it doesn't matter what would have taken place. I can assure you, because of past history of the fire service and people being sued, they're going to look at that bottle and say, oh, you didn't have them the proper equipment. So that's why we took them all out of service, replaced them with what we purchased last meeting, and then we also made sure that all of them were hydro tested at the right dates now. So I'm just asking if, once I get with Carol a little bit about the finances and we figure out about the ladders, the invoices, I think it'd be a good idea for us to go ahead and purchase these this year. That'll get us up to where we need to be. It will not completely make us 100% because we got the extra 10 bottles last year.
As a mother of one of those firefighters, I'm really glad he came across all that.
So do we want to approve
Yes,
this?
I'm sorry. I would like to offer the motion to approve the quote for 10 more of the cylinders, the bottles, at a total cost of $11,760.
No second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, that's approved.
Perfect. And I know it's not on the agenda, but I just want to give you a quick update on something that we did last year. I know you guys were all aware of this. We talked about it several times back in 2023, but we had purchased some of those thermal imaging cameras to go on our RIT bags. I just want to kind of give you a quick update on those. Those did finally come in, which we bought 3. They gave us 1 free, so we got 4. In our new review of this, we are probably going to end up putting these in service as our frontline thermal imaging cameras. And I just want to kind of give a quick reason why we would do that. Unbeknownst to me, when we ordered these, because it was just a deal and they were supposed to be small so we could put on our RIT packs, these will actually identify objects in a smoke-filled atmosphere. It actually outlines it. So these thermal imaging cameras are way advanced than what we even purchased back in 2022. But just to let you kind of know a little bit about it real quick, why I think it would be a benefit to put these in service for us is because they actually have the technology now to Bluetooth. And so if a firefighter was inside and something happens to them and they're holding this camera, we can actually be outside, turn our camera on, and we can locate that person via Bluetooth, and it'll take us right to that person. Same thing as if we want to mirror the screen. If someone's inside doing an activity inside, we can actually mirror the screen, it'll Bluetooth, and we can now see the screen that they are looking at through it. So just want to give you a little kudos to the fire department, but to the Board of Works and everything for supporting us through all these things, because just some of that new technology and that new technology we purchased, it's amazing for us. So just want to give you a quick update on that. And I think that's all I
Thank you. I
have.
think that's great. Thank you.
Okay.
Street Department, Jason Forsythe.
Hi, Greg.
Hi, Jason, how are you?
Megan, how are you guys? Just have a couple things. One thing I kind of added at the end of the day, I'm not sure if you guys saw it or not, but the first thing was a 5K run and walk at over near Suncrest. I believe they started this last year when Mrs. Schilling was there, and now this a new gal is taking over, and they're going to run the same thing. It's basically the same pattern that they used last year on May 3rd, 2024. They said from like 3:30 to 8. Scott's aware of this, so that I was going to bring this up today, but just want to get the board's approval for that 5K on May 3rd.
I'll make the motion, we approve the May 3rd 5K run and walk, lasting from 3:30 to 8.
I second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, have the approval.
Thank you. The next thing, I'm not sure if you got to see it yet, Mayor, or not, but received a video and some pictures from a gentleman that lives at 357 Sim Street. This happened during State Road 28's project too, but I assume it has something to do with GPS, but semis are turning off of Morrison, or on Morrison, off of Jackson, and they get to Sims, and they obviously realize I can't turn here very well. So he sent me a video asking for signage to be placed at Jackson and Morrison. We have those signs. I talked to him and I told him, I said, I'm not sure that this will rectify your problem or you'll be able to see that this doesn't happen again, but we'll be more than happy to put something up, because we'd put it up before as a temporary thing before, and they still drove down there. But obviously, looking at his video and seeing the pictures, it tore his yard up pretty well. So, if we can just get the board's approval to put that sign up, and I don't know, I was hoping maybe Scott would be here, but oh, did he?
Walked in.
Do you know, Chief, if I put up a no truck sign at Jackson and Morrison, does that enable you to enforce? Reason we're getting is semis are getting to Sims and no place to go. And they're pulling up and I can send you the video, but pulling up in the guys all the way up into his yard, all over the brand new sidewalks that are there, and trying to turn back on Sims. But I didn't know, like I said, I can put a sign up, I just don't know.
It's not in our ordinance there, is it? That location? We don't have,
Right. But I mean,
yeah. Do we have the right signs?
let's say no trucks, I got one that says no trucks allowed.
Right, but do we have the ones that Scott
Be
said we need?
enforceable.
I wouldn't even begin to know which ones those are, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, we need to find out if we have the right ones, if we want to enforce it.
And like I said, I mean, it's just a matter of catching them down there anyway. I mean, we can't have policemen sitting down there all the time watching for semis, but if it'll help him, later on try to be able to enforce it, and maybe the torch will be passed to the next semi that tries to go down there. I mean, obviously those guys probably talk a little bit. If you go down there, it's probably not a good idea because you're going to get a ticket. But it's been an ongoing problem, and this video was obviously not good. So.
I think that just preps us too, to be able to enforce it. So if Chief Shoemaker can get that information, we get those signs up, I think that makes it so at least if someone does continue to do that, it can be enforced. And
And while we're on that, there's a lot of no truck signs that were put up from a previous administration, and in my opinion, really doesn't need to be there. So I don't know if Alicia, if we want to kind of talk about that too, because This is a situation here that there definitely needs to be something there for a reason, but there's others that are out there that, I don't think fit the bill either. So, and I'd be glad to take those out if we don't need them.
To immediately address our resident's concern who lives on Sim Street, could we have you place or have him place one of the signs he does have as a deterrent while at the same time investigating the verbiage necessary for the proper signs?
Yeah.
And then, as you suggest, Jason, maybe just a inventory of where the proper sign should be placed and where maybe that's not effective or not necessary.
Right.
Yeah, I think we just need to look at what signs we have up, where they're at, and where they need to be, and then make sure that we get the right ones up in the right locations. Because if we're not going to be able to enforce them anyway, what's
Right.
the point of having them up?
You help me with that, Chief? I'm already on it. Okay, buddy. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, do we need to approve that or anything, or?
I mean, yeah, we can approve putting the sign up. That's fine.
I'll make the motion that we put one of our current signs in inventory up for the resident at 357 Sim Street as a deterrent for semi-traveling, making that corner and causing property damage. And then the reevaluation of the proper verbiage on signs to comply with ordinance.
I'll second that.
But we haven't. We don't have. Is that we don't have the ordinance? Okay, that's what I was asking, is if it was in our ordinance. Okay, so we can approve putting up the sign that's not enforceable. We'll have to have the city council put up the sign that's enforceable. Okay, that's why I asked if it was in our ordinance in the first place, or if we could do a blanket. But that's okay. We'll get it addressed.
So I'm hearing that we need to do that for a different ordinance for every street. Is that what you're saying?
Well, see, it's like the no parking signs. We have to put in the ordinance where we're gonna have like 3-hour parking, no parking, da 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 da. And the same thing with the truck signs. We have to put where we're gonna put them, and they have to be identified by street in the ordinance so that when we go to enforce it, we can point to it and say it's this specific location, or else it's not enforceable. And so the ordinance has to specify that, and then ordinances have to be through the council, and that's why we run into issues. But the Board of Works can put up the non-enforceable truck sign. So, but
There's an agenda item for the next council meeting underneath me.
yeah, we're gonna have to introduce it, and then we'll have to get the ordinance changed. But I need to know where. I'll need specifics, please. Thank you.
Send you a picture.
Okay, so
Oh,
we got
A
the
picture
first.
with like the street intersection.
Okay, and this is to allow you to put the non-enforceable.
Sorry.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets,
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, Jason.
Okay. So I need to bring that to council. I'm sorry, guys.
Well, and at the same
wonder.
time, I think both street superintendent and police chief collaborate for where it's pertinent to have those anymore.
And I mean, as we address that too, is that, Alicia, is that like a blanket ordinance? If we want to do like the parking, like 3-hour parking, the no trucks, also like parking on one side of the street, not on the other. Is there a kind of a blanket ordinance for that? And then specifically for those areas that can be addressed?
So what we have right now, so like, I don't know if you recall a while back, you guys had approved no parking in front of Goodwin's in our office.
Right.
And so I did bring that to the city council, and the city council did not end up moving forward with that because they were going to do a parking study.
We're in the process of
Yeah.
parking city.
So that has to be specified exactly where that 3-hour parking is going to be. So we can't just put 3-hour parking, as a blanket ordinance, you have to specify where it is. And so you can't really do like a one size fits all ordinance. You have to kind of put exactly where it's going to be. So the general ordinance says, 3-hour parking, and then it goes in to say, here are all of the spots where the 3-hour parking is. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
covers, as long as it's specified in there, that will cover all of those areas.
Yeah, so it would say from the corner of, I'm trying to think where, from the corner of Wabash Street to, Walnut Street on Main Street, on both sides of the street or whatever. But we have to put in the specific areas where it would be.
Same way
Yes.
with the truck. As long as there's specific areas for that. it will
Correct.
fall within that one ordinance.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. And so we do one, yes. So I'm following your question now. So we would do one ordinance that would cover all of the different places where we would have no trucks. We would do one ordinance that would cover all of the 3-hour parking. And then we'd specify each location in that one ordinance. Yes. Sorry, wasn't following.
Good.
Yep.
Okay, next we have building services, and tonight I'd like to bring a new hire to you, our senior building inspector, Ryan Haynes. We've done our interviews, and he's decided to come to work for us. So could I get a motion to approve his hiring?
I'll make a motion that we hire Ryan Haynes as the new building inspector for the city of Frankfurt.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, you are hired now, Ryan. Thank you. But now we're going to swear you in. Do you have anybody that would like to hold the Bible for you?
My wife might. This is my wife, Karen.
I'm going to go over here so they can hear. Okay, there's the Bible. Do you think is this okay, Beth? Okay, so left hand on the Bible. Or did you bring your own Bible?
This is fine.
Are you sure? I just happened to think of that. You were going to bring your own, weren't you? Okay, left hand, right hand in the air. Okay, I, Ryan Haynes,
I, Ryan Haynes,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States of America
of the United States of America
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Indiana,
of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and honestly
and honestly
discharge the duties of my office
discharge the duties of my office
as building inspector
as building inspector
according to law
according to law
and to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. We're happy to have you. Congratulations. Thank you for, yeah, thank you. Thank you for letting him come work for the city of Frankfurt. Okay, we need for you to sign. Ryan, you gonna?
I'm always moving something.
Now they tell you, right? Okay, you sign right there on this line. Okay, and then you'll make sure he gets this. I will get this back to you. Once they make copies and everything. Us. We're really excited to have Ryan with us. He's coming from a company he worked with 27?
So 27 years.
27 years. And he's decided to come here and work for the city of Frankfurt, and he lives in Frankfurt, so that's really exciting for me. So we're excited. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Okay, next, Parks Department, Christie. Thank you for being here.
Tonight I have just approval for some summer concerts. A Will Cullen contract for May 11th as an opener, and a Josh Milton contract for May 17th, and Cook and Bell for June 29th as a headliner.
Is there anything we need to know about any of them?
Can we do all those in one motion?
We do all those in one motion. Are you okay?
Yeah, we can do them all in one motion. That's
Okay.
fine, as long as we specify in the minutes that we've got all three. That's fine.
Does anybody have any questions?
We got copies.
They should have copies.
Yep.
I'll make a motion that we accept the contracts as stated this evening, one for May the 11th for Will Cullen, one for May the 17th for Josh Melton, and one for June the 29th for Cook and Bell.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, they're approved. Thank you. We're going to have a lot of good things going on this summer, aren't we? That's exciting. Okay, does anybody have any unfinished business? Oh, I almost forgot this. Are you,
Didn't have her on the agenda.
you're not on the agenda.
I know, I was late. it's the theme of my life right now is me being unprepared. So I apologize for that. I didn't get it to Carol in time. So for the Meadowbrook project, we accepted the bids last time. So now I have the contracts between the contractor and the city for the two different parts of the project. So one of them is for streets, and one of them is for the materials. And I worked with the developer to determine which. There were three different pieces. There was the base bid, then alternate one, and alternate two. And the developer was going to determine what parts of those three things we were going to actually need for the project. And so the developer worked that out, and I got the total price of the entire project and all of that, and that's included. And I worked with both of the contractors that had been the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, got them copies of the contract. They have both accepted the contract. So all we need to do at this point is approve the contracts and then sign them, and then that piece will be done. And then what I will do is I will put together a packet of all of the bidding information and everything to send over to the North Central Regional Planning Council and get them all of the materials they need so that we have everything for our bid done by March 1st, which is when our deadline is. So I am seeking approval for the two construction contracts so that we can get that done by the deadline.
I didn't, okay, is that, I didn't know what that.
Oh, I think that's just a
Just a-
typo. So I
okay.
can fix that on the front page. Yep.
Okay, so we're good.
Yep,
Okay,
yep, that's just a typo.
okay. So we probably need to do these individually.
Yes, please.
Okay,
And that's F and K's. I'll fix that front page and then I'll date it.
okay,
It's got an equal sign
yeah.
randomly that worked its way in there.
It's okay. Okay, we ready?
Okay.
I'll make the motion that we, I'll do this one, you do the next. I'll make the motion that we approve the contract, construction contract with F and K Construction for Phase 2, Sections 1, 2, and 3.
I'll second motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, that contract has been approved.
And I'll make the motion that we accept the contract with Milestone Contractors for Meadowbrook Subdivision Phase 2, Section 1, 2, and 3, in the amount of 300 and, let's see, looks like we have
There's two pieces.
$333,905 and $396,000, $396,436.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, that contract is approved as well. And then will you see that whoever needs to get this, or,
Yes.
Okay.
I will make sure they get to the appropriate parties if I get
Okay.
signed copies.
okay, so there, I think everyone has to sign
Yes.
both of them.
Correct.
Okay,
Yep. And that's all I have for tonight.
that's all you have? Okay. Megan or Greg, you have anything?
You know,
Okay, new business. Sam Payne. He's going to talk to us tonight about Dorners Park and the Horseshoe Court building. Sam and I have talked briefly about this, haven't we? And I asked him to come to the Board of Works meeting tonight and to tell us the plans that they would like to put in place.
What we would like to do, that building down there has been there, I don't know how long. I know the courts have been there 75 years, when the building was erected. But they built it out of railroad, old boxcars, railroad siding. When I was first hired onto the city under Don, I was doing code enforcement. And there was a gentleman down on White Street was doing a garage, and somebody called in and complained. So I went down and checked, see what he was complaining about. They had some old siding that he'd piled up. And the guy, when I pulled up, the guy said, well, I suppose code enforcement's gonna write me a ticket. And I said, for what? So I just wanted to see what you was doing and what you was gonna do with that material. And he said, I'm gonna haul it to the dump. I said, well, how about me bringing a trailer down here, put it on a trailer, and we'll put it on the building down to Horseshoe Courts. So that's what we done, and that's been there for a long time. Some guys thought shooting it with air guns and stuff, with putting holes in the side of it was funny. So we would like to take that old siding off, and put new vinyl siding on, take the windows out on the north end and the windows on the south end out, and fill them in, and then just put the vinyl siding over the top of it. What that'll do will stop the guys that want to kick the windows in and break into the building. So the only way they'll be able to get in then is through the front of the building. I went and had some pictures drawn up. I can pass them around of what the building would look like when we're done.
Thank you.
Judy's seen these.
I've already seen these, yes.
Now, after Judy and I had talked, she asked me to go talk to Joel at the park and to talk to Jason. I've been out to your place a couple of times, couldn't catch up with you, so I talked to Mike. That's okay. Okay. So the white is what we was wanting to put on there, but Joel kind of wanted us to put tan on the building. So I went and talked to few people, and they say, why do you want tan? And I said, that's what the park superintendent asked me to consider putting on. We would rather do the white because it blends in more with what the park, what the courts actually look like. And what it looks like today is, and on that first picture you got inside that folder, didn't I give you the folder that had all of them on it?
Yes.
What it looks like today is this picture right here, and we would like to keep it that way. My preference would be to do it that way. Now, if you look at that big picture, you see these boards down here? We want to take those, at the bottom of the front of the picture, we want to take those boards out of there and put like rail fence up from the bottom to the top. Because after looking at that, and when we sat down and talked, if we put those on there, people can hide behind them and not be seen down there. So if we put the rails, we'll go from the ground all the way up to the top of the awning. Make it so you can see through it. That was our plan, and then I put, the other thing we wanted to do is on the inside of that building, there's nothing but junk in there. If you look at page 2, you'll see, page 3, I guess it is. Look at page 3, it shows a picture of the plaques from the Hall of Fame. We want to take them down, and we want a US OSB board all the way around. Seal it up and take those Hall of Fame boards and put them where they can be seen by the public. And we're planning on getting a sheet of plywood, and we're gonna mount those them Hall of Fame boards onto that sheet of plywood, and we're gonna take them to the Hot Dog Festival, and we're gonna take them to Kokomo to the state tournament this year. So people can see what's down there. We believe that people don't actually know what is in that building. They don't know what's in the Hall of Fame people are. So we figure if we take it up to the Hot Dog Festival, people will be able to see that there is other activities down there rather than just 4 or 5 people. Now, this work would all be done by volunteers. The city would not be liable for any of it. I've got 8 people right now ready to go. In fact, they wanted to start this week, and I said, no, let's hold up until I go to the Board of Works meeting and see what they think about the plan, what we want to do, and make sure it's good with them. And we have already gotten $2,500 in grant money. So it's just laying at the bank waiting for, and that's what we have to use it for. And we've got some other people that's already offered to donate to this project. So I'm sure we can do it without. One of the things, that roof on that building, we was wanting to change that to shingles. It's metal now. We were wanting to change that to shingles, but I had Tornado Roofing to go down and look at it. They said they could put the shingle roofing on, but there's no slope to that. It's sort of flat, and it's got steel roofing on it right now. So we decided to just leave the steel roofing and go up and seal the cracks rather than go to the shingle roofing. The shingle roofing was going to cost too much. They'd have to take it down and reframe it in order to get that, and the cost was more than what we wanted to put into it. The metal roofing is not really that bad. It just needs some minor touch-up and some sealing so it won't leak.
You mentioned something about the windows.
Okay, on the,
What was it you were wanting to do with the windows?
these windows in the front, this is the front of the building. These windows facing the front, we're gonna leave. Because when we have an event down there, we open those windows up to plug computers and stuff in. And that other, in your other picture, let me see here.
On the side there?
No, well, there's one there on that side, yes, but I've got it right here someplace. What I do with it. There's one picture that shows the south side of the building and the north side of the building. There's 2 small windows there. They keep kicking those windows out, trying to get inside the building. When they do, they make that mess with those shovels and rakes, because they're all hanging on that wall. So they kick that wall,
Oh, this.
So you're going to take those
Yeah.
windows out.
and they kick the windows out, so that's the reason why all that stuff's scattered around. And the other thing we're gonna do is, on the inside, there's a little closet. We're gonna run that closet from the east wall over to the west wall, and put a door in there, and we're gonna store all of our tooling inside that, and make a room for the equipment, just have an equipment room. Then what we wanna do on the inside is have a wall where we can put artifacts. A lot of people's got artifacts. I know I've got a lot of artifacts that we want to put in that building, and just open it up. I may be down there half a day, I may be down there all day. If somebody wants to come in and take a look at what's in there, and after we show it at the Hot Dog Festival, there may be some people that would want to see what we got. I talked a little bit about this to Shan Sheridan and Shan said that could be an attraction for people to go see if it's done right and it's advertised right. So I've got 3 attorneys scheduled for down there this year, possibly 5, but we know for sure 3 because they're on the state schedule. And one of them is going to involve a 4-man team tournament. It'd be Johnson County, Sheridan, Speedway, Crawfordsville, and Frankfort. Each one of them is supposed to be bringing 2 teams, whether they will or not. And it's in October, and it may get moved up because of the weather conditions, but that's when they have it every year, in October. Any questions? Can I answer any questions?
The $2,500 that you have towards this, that was from the tourism,
Yes, that
the
was from
money
the
from the
tourism
county. You
grant.
got it from that.
And then we had
grant.
we had 1,019 left over from last year.
Mhm.
So that's where we're sitting right now. And we'd like to put a fence up. Now, if we get this other stuff done, we would like to put a fence up from the east corner over to the basketball court and one from the west, on the north side, then over to the old fence for the horseshoe courts. Because we don't like the idea of guys carrying our picnic tables and throwing them in the creek. And it's nothing but a pathway to the creek. I've talked to Dan Sheets' office about trimming that brush on the north side of the horseshoe courts. I've talked to them about trimming that brush out of there and opening that up so you can see down to the creek bank. I think that would stop a lot of the traffic going down to the creek.
Now, the Lions Club also
Yeah, the Lions Club.
sponsors.
Yeah, but I don't know what
Do they give you a financial or just, I know they help.
they do
They help
some.
maintain it.
I know Mr. Dorner donated some last year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that was. That's all taken care of through the Lions Club.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Lions Club themselves donated some. And Mike Nichols told me that they was gonna
And they also help you work down
help,
there.
they're gonna help work and they're gonna donate some. So that was our plan. Again, right now, we're waiting. I'm still thinking I wanna go with the white on the
Well,
building.
As I look at this, that seems to be the color scheme down there with all of your, I guess, what are those little things? Is that to keep the scores or, it looks like blue and white's what
It is
they've got
blue.
on, yeah.
I don't know, I talked to Joel, he said, do what you want, but I prefer to have it brown. And I said, well, I don't know.
Oh, but this one looks like it's been kind of in the past always.
That's always been, well,
White with
it was green, and we did paint it blue. And to me, it shows up better. And there's not a brown house in the block. The only thing that's brown, I think, is that roof on that building.
Christy, am I correct in thinking that there's nothing down there that's painted or anything? It's across the road is the restrooms and the little concessions, and that's rock. Is it blue? That's why I was asking. Is it blue? Yeah, yeah. I mean. I am too. I'm fine with the white and blue, I think.
Well, we want to have
You have to
the,
go through and paint the whole rest of the horseshoe courts to match
yeah,
that.
you'd have to do everything. And I'd rather have it just like it is. We keep it clean, and keep it neat, and it looks good down there. And I just said, well, when I go to the Board of Works meeting, I'm gonna bring that up and see what we can do. If the Board of Works says we go 10, then we go 10.
So Alicia, from a legal standpoint, do we need to have anything, or can we just approve this, or?
My recommendation would be that if we're going to have volunteers doing the work on a park structure, we should have a waiver of liability that they sign, which I have a general waiver that they could sign. But other than that, I think that the Board of Works could just approve that they can go ahead and do the work. But I do think if we're going to have volunteers putting up siding and, that sort of thing, that's something that we should have somebody sign a waiver.
Do you do that, Christy, during the other time? Do you have a waiver, or? Yeah, so just something like that, Sam, that they would
I
sign?
do.
that-
Yeah, we've got 2 volunteers one from Delphi and one from Monticello. It's gonna come down. Of course, they're in the league. And then it's me and Denny Canancer, Tom Piercy, and, so yeah, that would be fine. We can do that. No big deal.
Well, I do want to tell you that we appreciate all that you do down there at the Horseshoe Courts. I know you keep it well-maintained, and it's very popular throughout this state, and it is. It's part of Frankfurt.
26 years down there, Judy.
I know, that's amazing.
I got the quote from Gilman's in Frankfurt. That's
Okay.
where we're gonna go. It was for the, for the for the steel door we're gonna put in.
Okay,
It's $278. And the siding was, get the rest of my paper here, it was $1,005, something like that. They went down on the price.
okay.
I mean, I went back down to Gilman's, and their first price was $1,275. And when I went back in and talked to the lady back there, she dropped it to $900 and some dollars. So hoping we can get everything done and still have enough with donations to do that fence.
Now, are you handling the donations or are they?
Yes.
Okay,
It's going through Citizens.
okay,
Whenever we pay, we'll just bring Carol a check for whatever the bill was and
okay.
pay it off.
I'm gonna check with State Board of Accounts and make sure that it's okay for us to do that too.
To do,
To do it in that manner rather than the city setting up a fund here.
yeah, well, I put the check into our account, the Horseshoe Pictures account. You mean, not following you.
We had talked a little bit about it in the past about the,
Joel ordering the materials and then. we
right, and then
followed the way he's
the,
gonna do
the
that.
city would get billed and then you would pay the city's bill
Okay. I
on
see.
that.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure that State Board of Accounts finds that acceptable.
Now, I thought of something else too that we might do. What if we just go purchase the material ourselves? Because here's what I'm thinking. If I have to go to Joe or Christie every time we need something, they may be busy, not be able to order it, and we'll have to. So if I would go in and order the material and have it delivered and just pay them for it.
I mean, you
That-
could do that.
we could
Now,
do that.
You would not be
The
able
only
to
thing you're
use-
gonna spend extra would be the sales.
Sales tax, yeah. Yep.
I think we would be quicker in getting it done by just, if we need extra boards or we need extra this, I know Christie's pretty busy and so is
Right.
Joel, so I would like to take that time away from him and just go in and say, here's what I need, and let them deliver it, and we'll just give them a check.
Well, I'll check on my end and then you can let me know what you decide to do and we'll take it from there.
Okay.
Yep.
All righty? That's all I
Okay,
got.
thank you, Sam. I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Sam.
Sam, did you want this?
Sam, do you want your materials back?
Thank you. I appreciate that. Chief Shoemaker, did you have anything for us? You're not on the agenda, but nothing? Okay. Anybody else? Okay, I'll take the motion.
Before we adjourn, did we need to do the approval on the Horseshoe building? You had mentioned possibly doing an approval.
I mean, if we're not really doing anything, I don't think we have any problem.
It's his
Okay.
association and his volunteers. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure before we take that final,
We're okay.
okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I need to talk to Scott and I
We
need
need to swear Megan.
swear in Megan. We're swearing Megan in for city plan. And then Isaac's coming in and I'm swearing him in.